Hello, everyone. It is me, Samuel, with Samuel Brock Flynn Show. Today, we have a special guest, Dreyden. Gordon, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing fine. Good to see you, Samuel. Good to be on your show. Been looking
Good.
forward to this for some time, and I want to thank you for extending the invitation to be a part of this.
You're welcome, sir. Anytime, man. How's things going? And first and foremost, can you tell us about your how you got started in music? And how did you find out that you were going to be a country music singer someday? And how did you get there?
Sure thing. Well, that really goes back a long ways. To the age of two, believe it or not. Here where I live in eastern Kentucky, there is a what they call a community center up the road from us, just a little
Yes,
ways,
sir.
or up the road from where I lived at, and they had bluegrass music every Saturday night for a long time, and still have it from time to time. But back then they would really bring in some of the big national acts as well as some of the local acts as well. One of those national acts was a guy by the name of Melvin Goins, who was a bluegrass music pioneer
Oh
for many,
wow.
many years as a member of the Lonesome Pine Fiddlers and Ralph Stanley's band and several different groups, as well as his own musical group as well. But he come up there, and for there was a lot of dancing that went on up there. I know that some folks
Right.
say that's sinful, but that's the way it was. There's a lot of dancing went on up there, and
Right.
clogging, which is an Appalachian style of dance. And believe it or not, about the age of two, I started doing that. I started clogging. Now, there's been a lot of soup, beans, and cornbread under the bridge since them days, but that is how I
Right.
got my start. Melvin pulled me on stage at the age of two, and I danced with him and his group on stage. Believe it or not, that's
Oh
been
wow.
been about 18 years now, and so I continued dancing for a little while, and then at the age of seven, I began singing on stage, and that's kind of where we where the modern history begins, so to speak, is the singing part of it. But
Right.
uh, age of 11, I think it was, I taught myself to play guitar, and
That's
been just beating the roads and beating a few songs out ever since.
Yeah. Not a lot of people can teach themselves how to play guitar at that age. Usually.
No, not hardly. I had taken lessons, and I just couldn't get the hang of it, and I was frustrated and everything else. I took the guitar home, I put it under the bed, and forgot about it for about 2 years. And that was about the age of 8 or 9 or 10, something like that, that I had taken lessons. And then
Right.
at about the age of 11 or so, I pulled it back out and I said, by golly, there's YouTube, there's the internet, all this stuff. I'm going to learn how to play this fool thing. And
Yes.
about 3 months later, I was on stage playing it.
That's good. That I mean, hey, that not a lot of people can do that at a young age like that. There's people that's having to, I mean, at my age, there's people having to go to classes for that sort of thing. So
Well, I
I
might have been
completely
better off if I
understand.
had. If I don't know. I said I play it. I didn't say I played it well.
All right, I know what you mean. So, can I ask how many country music awards do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh well, I don't know so many awards. There's a couple of them. I was proud to receive Bluegrass Artist of the Year from the Mississippi Music Foundation back in 2023.
Oh wow.
A couple of years ago, I received I believe it was called the Heritage Award from the Keith Whitley Foundation. Um,
Oh wow. That's a big one.
those are a couple of them. That's the ones that I can remember right off the top of my head. None of those Grammys or CMAs or anything like that. I'm probably just a little bit too much of an outcast for something like that.
No, I've I was doing video work. I personally heard you sing. I was like, wow, for a guy that age, that's you don't get that very often.
Thank you.
So that's you have some talent. So I want to let you know that. So
I appreciate
I
that.
working with a studio myself. I worked with Jay Fox Studio in Crossville, Tennessee. He was a two or three time award winning. I think he had Dove Awards or something like that, which is
Okay.
big time.
Yes.
Um, and he had those, and I've seen them myself, and and I got to see those right after he died, actually,
Mm.
and Yeah, he passed away last year, or no, not last year. Yes, last year. Sorry. He did. He did. He passed away July the 4th. I think it was due to an aneurysm or something
Mm.
like that. And so, yeah, I heard about that. It bothered me because my
Yeah.
photography work for the band and for his group was well respected. So, it just it shocked me when I heard about the news. And I was kind of upset because it was one of my clients. So
Yes, well, it's understandable. Anytime you lose somebody that you're close to, especially in this music business. This music business is like one big family, and
it is
when you lose
certainly.
somebody, it's just like losing a family member.
It is, yes, sir. So, well, if you don't mind, let's hear some music.
Let's hear some music. Let me pick this pick up. I dropped it just a second ago, and we're gonna try and do you a good number or two here.
All right.
Here's a number that I wrote a few years back, and it kind of talks about a feller that's left the hills, left the country, and went off to the big city. But as he nears the end of his life, he wishes he could go back and change things and do them all over again. Hang out a lantern for me, mom. I'm a coming back, but I don't know when. Those were the last words I told my dear old mother. It's been a lifetime and I ain't been back there yet. The lure of the lights in the city can tempt a young man to stray. I'm a longing now for the old days in the mountains. I wish that I had stayed. Hang out a lantern for me, mama. I'm a coming back, but I don't know when. Those were the last words I told my dear old mother. It's been a lifetime and I ain't been back there yet. Well, I wish somehow I could go back and undo the things I've done, but I know there's no more returning. For I'm near my life's own setting sun. Hang out a lantern for me, mama. I'm a coming back, but I don't know when. Those were the last words I told my dear old mother. It's been a lifetime and I ain't been back there yet. Hang out a lantern for me, mama. I'm a coming back, but I don't know when. Those were the last words I told my dear old mother. It's been a lifetime and I ain't been back there yet. It's been a lifetime and I ain't been back there yet.
Wow, you did a really good job on that one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What's the backstory a little bit behind that?
Well, I don't know really what the backstory is. It just kind of come to me one day, and I started writing, and before I knew it, I had that one done right there. So,
All
um,
right.
that I can say that one right there will be on the next album, the full length album that it comes out when it comes out. We don't have a date on that, but it'll be sometime in the early spring of 2025. Of course, full band and everything behind me on that album. But
Right. So, do you have any upcoming events out of curiosity?
yeah. Actually, let's see. This is Friday, isn't it? So
Yes, sir.
I'm off this weekend, but next weekend, Thursday through Saturday, I'll be on an engagement in Croswell, Michigan, at the Backwoods Bluegrass Festival up there. It's a wonderful thing. We do it every year, and this is be glad to be going back to it this year. Go up there and have a good old time. Visit with all our friends up in the north part of the country up there in Michigan. So that's the next one, right?
Right.
And then got a couple of things around Eastern Kentucky afterwards on that. I couldn't give you the exact dates off the top of my head, but something I've got. Let's see, the holiday fundraiser in Sandy Hook, Kentucky, that they're doing to raise money for Christmas presents for little kids and things, as well as a show at Oakview Independent Baptist Church in Ashland, Kentucky, coming up in October. So be sure and check all that out. There's more that can be found, more dates and everything on the Facebook and the Instagram and all that stuff like that.
Right. Now, what are your what's your TikTok and what's your YouTube and stuff like that
All the
people can come?
socials. I try to keep it simple. All right. I like to start out by saying, if I'm not on it, you don't need to be on it either. Okay. I'm talking about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. Probably a couple of them I'm forgetting, even Twitter and Threads and all that stuff. Check it out. It's Dreyden.official. Dreyden.official. Some of them don't let you put the dot in, so it's just Dreyden official, but majority it's just Dreyden.official. Look that up right there. You'll be able to find me on there, Colonel Dreyden Gordon or Dreyden Gordon, either one. And I should be popping right on up there. If you have trouble, just put me into Google, and I know something's going to come up in.
Yes, I do too. I know that. That's for sure. You could look up my podcast, and there'll be this little box on the right hand side that'll say Samuel Brock Flynn Show or whoever the music artist is, and they'll have everything linked together. So
Good.
they have my stuff linked together already, I believe. So, and it actually amazes me how technology does that. It like links everything together, and you don't even have to do anything.
It sure does. I don't know how it does it, but it does it.
Yeah, I know, right? I wondered the same thing. I thought, how do they know that? It's like kind of weird, especially if you're not the one putting it together.
Already.
Oh yeah, I know, right? It feels like that. I mean, hey, at least you don't have to do the hard leg work of trying to put it all together.
Exactly.
So, do you have any other songs you would like to play?
Sure. How about this one right here? I'm going to go back and get you my latest single. It came out back in the spring of this year. I don't know why that camera zoomed that far in on me, but we're going to try and sing it for you anyway. For those of you watching, before we went on, we was having a little bit of camera difficulties. We can't quite figure out how to make this thing quit shaking around here, so you've got to follow me like it's following me. So, anyways, here's a number that I wrote and put out as a single. It was out on Nashville Entertainment Weekly Records back in the spring of this year. I think about the 1st of April or the last of March. It's a song that I wrote coming home one day. I was coming over some old back roads, and it was just about time that the Easter lilies were in bloom, and they were bloomed all along the side of the road, and by golly, it began to snow. I got to thinking about the snow on the lilies, and by the time I got home, I had about half the song written and finished it up before too long after that. And it's come out, like I said, back in the spring on Nashville Entertainment Weekly Records. Went to number one for a little while in the state of Georgia. Was proud of that and proud of that little achievement. Thankful to everybody that's been listening to it, streaming it, and buying it, and all that good stuff. Here it is. Like I said, it's called Snow on the Lilies. There's snow on the lilies, springtime is near. Winter's almost over, but you're not here. You went away last summer and left us all alone. There's snow on the lilies around our mountain home. The winter was so long without you, it seemed. Each night I'd lay down and see you in my dreams. But now you're with the angels forevermore to sing. On the far banks of Jordan, let those hallelujahs ring. There's snow on the lilies, springtime is near. Winter's almost over, but you're not here. You went away last summer and left us all alone. There's snow on the lilies around our mountain home. Well, the children still cry, they just can't understand why mommy's not here to hold their precious hand. But what can I tell them? Oh, what can I do? because late at night I still cry for you too. There's snow on the lilies, springtime is near. Winter's almost over, but you're not here. You went away last summer and left us all alone. There's snow on the lilies around our mountain home. There's snow on the lilies around our mountain home.
Wow, I like that. That was nice.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sometimes when we're doing these types of interviews, and singing some of these
Yes, sir.
songs acoustic, I kind of feel like they're a little bit short. When you listen to them on the full record, they've got all the instruments in it and everything like that, and that makes them a little bit longer. So if you're thinking
Yes, sir.
I'm cutting half the song out, that might be because it don't have all the instruments in it.
Right. Now, what do you use to mix with, if you don't mind me asking, to like do your music?
Well, I mean,
If you're
as far as the recording stuff goes, I go to a recording studio and I have a guy that does the mixing and the mastering and all that after the
right.
fact. That's whatever he uses. I couldn't tell you.
Uh,
That stuff is beyond me.
I gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard now. I was gonna say I've heard this one. It's a really good one. I like it, and I like the sound of the music. It's just relaxing,
Well,
and
thank
then
you very
also
much.
for those that I do know that are into recording music, there is a thing called Reaper out there. So I would really look into that. And there's also some other things out there called SoundForge, which I sometimes use. It's a licensed version, so of course I'm allowed to use it on my podcast and whatever. So
Oh yeah.
and and then the Reaper, however, I've used it, but I'm not really sure how to use it. But it's threw me for loops. I'm sure if you've seen it, throw you for loops too. So,
Well,
so what radio station are you with? I remember talking to you about that a long time ago, like a radio
yeah.
station. But
So realistically, I guess I have a side job that I enjoy very much. It was always a dream of mine from a very young age to be on the radio, whether that was talking or singing, either one. And
right,
I can remember being a young child and pulling up YouTube and different things and acting like I was disc jockeying, believe it or not. And
right,
but all these years later, now I work for a couple of radio stations here in Eastern Kentucky. I work for WGOH, which is 1370 AM and 100.9 FM, as well as WUGO 99.7 FM and TV 14 here locally. So
oh wow,
the main thing that I do is on the news side of things, but I do some fill-in disc jockeying as well as having one syndicated program, or not really syndicated, but pre-recorded program that airs on Saturday afternoons that plays classic country.
now, quick question: which one do you like doing the most, and which ones do you like doing the least?
What do you mean exactly?
What I mean is, which one do you like the doing the most, and which one do you like doing, like TV or the radio station, or all?
I enjoy it all about the same, really, to tell you the truth. I enjoy when I get to fill in on the bluegrass show. I do that from time to time. That's not my normal gig, but I do fill in on the bluegrass show and disc jockey that from time to time, and that's a whole heap of fun, as well as some of the classic country programs. So
Right,
and the news, that's fun too, but that's the news.
right. Yeah. So now, sometimes the news can be a bad thing. It could be a good thing. Who knows what
Yeah.
you know?
It can.
It,
There's not too much happens in our little rural area here, and I guess that's a good thing. But so that just means there's a little less to report on.
right. Or there's a little bit that happens over here, but sometimes it's reported and sometimes it's not. It's like, what is going on?
I don't know what just went
But
on there.
hey, all it calls for is improvement in journalism is all it is.
Yeah.
So there's always room for improvement, as the old
Oh,
saying goes. So, um, so what do you have any concerts or anything? You said can you and how much are tickets to go and? to your concerts and things?
Your tickets just depend on the venue. I don't set ticket prices. That depends on what the venue is, and I really couldn't tell you, from time to time what they are. It just varies from place to place, and what they set
Right.
depends on who else is on the show and how big of a show and different things like that, of course. But so
Right.
I have very little to no say in what ticket prices are or what they're set at. But for the majority of the time, they're pretty reasonable, I think. Because usually on the shows I'm on, you're going to get some extra bands, some other shows, some other bands as well. So come out and you're going to get your money's worth. We're going to treat you so many ways. You're bound to like one of them. All right.
Right. I'm sure I'll try to come to one of them again. So and I'm busy usually, but I'll try to make to
Yeah.
one of your concerts there in the future. So um well, how would if somebody wanted to buy some of your albums or some of your music, what website do they go to do that, or are they MP3 you know,
Mhm.
downloads, or how do you do that?
Sure, I've got just a little bit of everything, going on. We do have a website. The handle on it, the www thing, is a little bit messed up right now. So just go to Google and type in my name, and it'll usually be one of the first few things that comes up. Will be my website. So you can check out the website that way, or you can just find me on social media and reach out if you want a physical copy of anything, as far as the CDs go, or as far as T-shirts, hats, things like that. Different things that we sell, out and about on the road. Got like I said,
Right.
T-shirts and hats and CDs. That's the main things that we really focus on right now. But so just reach out and shoot me or my page. I'm not always the one that's running the page. I do have some other people that help me out and help run that thing and help keep me geared up and straight, all the time. But so one of us will get back with you in the near future about that. If anybody
Right.
out there is if anybody out there is interested in T-shirts or, like I said, hats or CDs or anything.
Right.
And as far as the music goes, it is available on all the streaming platforms. That's your Spotify's, your iHeartRadios, your iTunes, your Apple Music's, Deezer, everything, that there is there. It's pretty much available on just about everything out there. So that's
Right.
really the best thing I can tell you to do is just check that out. Just go to any of your favorite streaming platforms, type Dreyden Gordon in, and by golly, something's going to come up. I promise you.
Oh yes, yes, sir. Yeah, you know how the internet age is nowadays. It's certainly definitely an information age. So,
It's
um,
it's a little bit advanced for me.
yes, I know. Sometimes my phone is a little bit advanced. It's a little special. It'll start listening to things and start trying to talk to you, and sometimes you're not even talking to it. You're
Yeah.
like, "What? I didn't even talk to that phone, so I don't know why is it trying to talk to me for? I
Start
guess
talking
spark up
about
a
one thing and then you
conversation."
see an ad for it 10 minutes later.
Oh yeah. So who do we get now? If somebody wanted to book you for an event, where do they go to, and who do they talk to, and who can they get in touch with?
Yeah, just as far as events go, for personal appearances, just reach out to one of my pages, like I said, and either I'll be getting back with you or somebody that works with me will, and we'll set you up with a phone number
Right.
or email address or something like that. And as far as media interviews, such as radio shows, podcasts, things like that, Jill
Yes.
Sanfonez with Nashville Entertainment Weekly. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram and all that, or you can even find her through my pages as well. She helps run those as well. So just reach
Right.
out. We can hook you up with something. I promise you. It may not be
Y-
exactly what you want, but it'll be something that you need. All right.
Oh yes, sir. Definitely. I know, I understand that one for sure. So, um, yes, I do like your music, and I do believe you have a lot of talent, because that is, hard to find
Thank you.
somebody that can do and and let me say one thing. You have a little bit of twang. Well, you have more than a little bit. You have a lot of twang behind your voice that sounds very, very country like, for sure.
Well,
And it's
thank you. I
and
guess I guess that comes from growing up here in Appalachia. I've lived here for the majority of my life, and proud to be from the
right,
hills of eastern Kentucky. Down from the mountains and into the hills. But it's played a big part in my life. And this people say from time to time, they say, "Oh, I like the way you talk. I like your voice." I say, "Thank you. It's the only one I got." I go somewhere down south or well, especially if I go up north, I go somewhere up north and they look at me like I'm crazy and I start talking. I go somewhere down, I go somewhere down south like Georgia and they say, "Oh, you got to be from Alabama." I go to Alabama and they say, "No, you got to be from Mississippi." They all try to pawn me off somewhere
Oh, I
else.
know, right?
Yeah, but by
They
golly,
try to pinpoint where the accent's coming from. Well, personally, I would have thought you was from Tennessee, because there are
well,
people that talk, that
not a
is,
whole lot of difference between Eastern Kentucky and East Tennessee and things
oh
like that.
yes, sir, I would
I'm
say
not too
so.
far from you. Not too
Oh,
far.
oh no, no. I mean, I live in a small town myself, and I'm not going to say for privacy reasons, but yeah. When you talk about back roads earlier, I was just say I live on, and
Yeah,
I'm proud of it. I'm proud I'm
I
out
know it
of the public, you know, view and all that. I'm glad I live in a more rather rural, secluded place.
for sure.
So. I mean, it's peaceful out this way. So, I mean, who would not want that, So, and
Absolutely.
I mean, and not only that, I can go out and fish or do something, when it's season,
Yeah.
to do that. So, where I'm at. So, well, is there any more songs you want to play for us today, or
Well, we could probably do one more, I'd say. How about a good
if you
gospel
want
song?
to?
Would that be all right with you and your audience?
Yeah, sure. I don't care. I'm a Christian man myself. I'm not gonna demonize you for that.
Uh, I love to include the gospel songs on the shows and on the programs wherever we're at. I don't think I've done a show yet that I didn't include some gospel music on it. Proud of the Lord, proud to say that the Lord Jesus Christ is my Savior, and thankful to Him for every day that
Yes,
I'm
sir.
able to get out and do this thing called music and live this thing called life. I'm gonna try and do you one now that I tell you what, we've been doing songs I wrote, but I'm gonna try you one that Hank Williams did years ago that I've been doing for a long time. Slow things down and get you one called "The House of Gold."
All right, sounds good.
Some people steal, oh, they cheat and lie for the wealth and what that it will buy. Don't they know on the judgment day that their gold and silver will melt away? I'd rather be in a deep dark grave and to know that my poor soul is saved and live in this world in a house of gold and deny my God and lose my soul. What good is gold and your silver too if your heart's not so good and true? Brother, hear me as I say, fall down on your knees and pray. I'd rather be in a deep dark grave and to know that my poor soul is saved and live in this world in a house of gold and deny my God and lose my soul and deny my God and lose my soul.
Wow, that sends some bumps through your back, man.
Thank
That
you.
really does. I do appreciate you coming on to this live and coming and spreading the gospel with that. That's a powerful song
Thank
there.
you.
So I appreciate you very much for coming on today. And I, um, is there is there a website people can go to? You said.
Yeah, just go to Google and type in my name, and the website should come right on up there. The link is DreydenGordon.com, but that link only works about half the time. I'm not sure what's wrong or what's right with it, but you'll find me come up there. There'll be several different things, all the websites, the social media outlets, link trees, all that stuff. Just go to Google and type me in right there. Yeah, you got me typed in right there now, ain't you? In the big red
Yes,
letters.
sir, I do.
So there we go.
Yep, yep. And also, so you guys can find this podcast and find out more of what my podcast is about, go to this website here down at the bottom and go from there. And I appreciate you for coming on to the podcast, Drayden. And I hope you don't blow away over there in that storm.
All right. Sure thing.
So,
Thank you very much, Samuel. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to be on your show today. Hopefully the folks have enjoyed something that we done. We'll have to do it again
oh
sometime.
yes, sir.
You take care and God bless you, all right?
You too, sir. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
have a wonderful day.
You
All
as
right.
well.
All right. Bye-bye.
Check out Samuel Brock Flynn Show on Spotify, iHeart and Samuel Flynn Photography page today. Check out the podcast on Spotify and iHeart today.